Hey everyone, happy Sunday evening. Tomorrow's everybody's favorite day of the week, Monday, of course. At least we have one thing to look forward to, and that's some live market action again. I wanted to briefly touch base on some of the hot stocks that we've been talking about for a while. I know that we've got some red action going on, and we've got some potential green action going on. So first of all, I wanted to touch on my favorite stock for this week, DPW. Using the momentum indicator chart that we talked about last night, you can see that it's really early in a high volatile move to the green. So I don't think it's really too late to get in. Just try to buy on a dip if you do. It's got a good daily chart setting up. The 4-hour chart's kind of already starting to work its way out. But if you look at the daily chart, it looks good. Looks like a potential cup forming here. And then, of course, you have cup, potential handle. If the cup does form and we see a handle, which we might already be seeing, let me pull up the lines here. Yeah, we do kind of have a cup and a little handle action here. Be looking this week for this to move up a lot. This has got blockchain ties. This has EV ties. A lot of upside on this. And it's kind of confirmed here by this indicator as I talked about. So I think DPW is my favorite one this week. Try to buy early or on any sort of or dip. Obviously, be attentive to the market action and what's actually going on. If this thing is just falling off the face of the earth, be patient. Try to find a good buy-in. But I think this is my favorite one this week, DPW. Currently, let's see, 675 it looks like on our close. So pretty relatively low priced per share. Fitting a lot of the key things that we like to look and see. The last time it had a similar move from a low volatile situation, it spiked up pretty good. So hoping to see something similar. A very, very good consolidation. Low volatile time on the daily chart here. I mean, we're talking probably, 15, 20 days here. Nice consolidation with still an overall uptrend going on. A little bit of a spike late in the week on the 17th, which I think was Thursday. Oh, calendar won't pull up. Let's say Thursday. Oh, it was Wednesday. And then 2 resting days with a little bit of a downtrend there to end the week. So it's setting up beautifully. DPW is my favorite. I'm not really going to look at BRQS, AIKI, CCNC, and PHUN. Those are all really tied to blockchain moves. I expect them to really turn this week, and hopefully we got in on dips here late in the last week when they've all been kind of down a little bit. So take a look at those charts. My opinion on them really hasn't changed much. If you can get on a dip, let's just pull them up real fast, I guess. AIKI, for instance, looks really good on the daily chart. You have a really solid uptrend here. You have your big gap down that we had. It's been consolidating here for a few days. Let's look at a 2-hour chart. You can see that gap down a little bit more clearly. A little bit of a consolidation. Looks like it may be taking a turn back to an uptrend. Look for it to retest the previous high here at 175 that it hit on Wednesday. And if we break past that 175, you see it resistant here, also resisted it again here. So if we're able to retest that and break through, look for it to break through this sort of move here right around the 230, 220 mark, where it had a lot of candles moving in the same spot here, forming another resistance. So look for it to retest 175. 175 is the key number for AIKI. If it breaks through that, we could be in really good shape. As you can see too, looks like we're moving out of this period of this downtrend. This first dark blue dot representing the beginning of a low volatile section. Hopefully we see a couple more of those form here. 2-hour chart, so we'll get several more dots to kind of check out on Monday. I like the 2-hour chart on AIKI, and yeah, the 1 hour chart actually kind of already shows it advancing there. You got 3 blue dots trending green already. So hopefully this is the pattern that we see. Check out that 1 hour, 2 hour chart on AIKI. Get it on any dip. I would think that this is going to take another move upward. If we back out just a little bit to review, you can see that it's clearly in an uptrend. We're all the way back in mid-December here. It's really got a good looking bullish chart going on. So gap down, looking for that to continue. Liking AIKI a lot. I had 1,800 shares, sold a little bit on this peak up in the 170s, I think, on Friday. I've got about 1,300 shares left, so I'm liking the way this one's shaping out. Hoping to turn a decent profit here. We'll take a quick glance at BRQS. This is again another blockchain, so it's going to be running off the sympathy of Bitcoin, which has continued to just skyrocket. BRQS, let's see here. Again, very similar constant uptrend as AIKI. A lot of these patterns are going to be similar, which is why I was initially not considering to look at the charts with you, but just take a couple minutes here. So got a little bit of a consolidation. It's coming back down off some of the highs here. And if we look at probably a day or maybe even a week candle, yeah, a day looks like it's already kind of running out of the pattern. But I bet you the week-long pattern will look really good. So yeah, week-long, all the way back here. This is March, obviously last year, so this is a pretty good time span we're looking at. But ultimately, you can see a lot of low volatility, not a lot going on, especially once you get past August. Here lately, it's just started to pick up as we've actually been kind of checking it out. So we're just 2 bars into the high volatile movement, hoping to see more of that same action going on with Bitcoin flying. So I think any sort of dip, if you're not already in on BRQS, again, I think this is a good one to watch this week. Likewise with PHUN. PHUN is in that same zone of got this uptrend. I'm on the weekly chart, so it doesn't look quite the same as the other two, but here you can see it clearly, that same bullish uptrend. These ones are going to pattern each other pretty well. The 4-hour chart shows it maybe coming up out of this lull that it experienced here. Hopefully turn it into a green uptrend here pretty quickly. I wonder what the 1-hour, 2-hour chart looks like. Nah, kind of similar. Nothing fantastic there. I'm sure. Yeah, here you go with like a half-hour chart. So maybe early Monday, this might be making a little bit of a move with it starting to trend green slightly coming out of this low volatility section. So PHUN, just again, this is all Bitcoin sympathy. So you take into consideration the charts, the indicators, of course, but other things move stocks. News moves stocks. You know, we can have a lot of things change pretty quickly on these. So keep your eye out on BRQS, PHUN, CCNC, and AIKI, kind of all the same. Now, CCNC had a really big spike middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday last week. But again, you can see that similar uptrend. Let me go to the 4-hour. There's that same looking chart again. All those 4 stocks are good ones to keep an eye on, and DPW being my favorite. I wanted to touch on 2 other ones quickly. CRBP, which we've been talking about for a while. 4 states have recently legalized the use of cannabis for medical treatment, or just, I don't even know, maybe just making it legal across the board. So had a really nice consolidation. It's on a little bit of a downtrend, retesting some previous levels of resistance here on these candles over here at the beginning of February. So if it holds the line here around the 290 mark, and we start to see a turn for the uptrend, which is kind of what the indicator is showing here, it looks like it's hit bottom. It's starting to try to trend back up. So hopefully that's in fact the case. And if it is, let's look at a shorter time period. It may show us that action actually. Yeah, I mean the 45-minute chart, I mean look at that's just the definition of consolidation there. You've got low volatility, a lot of dark blue dots with a little bit of green, a little bit of red. We're back into a period here of consolidation and low volatility. So if this livens up at all with any of the news of the new legalized 4 states that occurred, I think either Friday or Saturday, hopefully this turns really good, and we're going to see a lot of movement on that. So remember, this has the gap down from I think it was September. So we've got this big gap down we're trying to fill. Let me go, I guess, to the weekly chart so we can see it a little bit better. There it is. So we gap down from our price range up near close to $10, $9.28 at the open, $8.46 as the low. Let me throw in, I don't know how to do moving averages super well in here. Let me just go over to Webull very quickly. Pull up CRBP, BP, and see, let's back it out. We want weekly candles. There's that same gap down we were talking about. And let's get some moving averages on here so that we can see what they're showing. It's the 5 moving average. Can I get more? Let's just throw in the 200-day moving average. What is that showing us? Yeah, the 200-day moving average is showing price point prediction around 587. So not sure when or if it's going to get there, but that's what this gap down is showing on the moving average. That's a really good gold target price to use, that 587. That's literally almost perfectly 100% move there. So this has got a lot of upside, especially with the continuation of news coming out. So if you got CRBP and you're down a little bit, don't worry too much. Just make sure that it holds its line there at the price I mentioned earlier, and we should be in good shape here. What did I say, 290 or yeah, right in this area. You want to hold that line, hold your stock. It'll go back up a little bit, if not more. Lastly, TRCH was one that I had championed last week. I got out on one of its pretty good highs. It has since, man, would have liked to know this indicator and had the stock on the watch list back in November. Good grief. Sitting at 51 cents is a high, 33 cents is a low, and it's 1,000%, for goodness sakes. See, what do I like on this one? Yeah, the daily chart, you can see it's pretty well already into a move, and even though it's already come down a lot, this indicator is showing that there's still a lot of buying bullish action to the stock. In fact, you can see the last time it had its move up through the month of January, it did come back down a little bit on the indicator, but it never went back into the red sector. It stayed very much green, and it transitioned pretty quickly out of a area of low volatility. Let me get rid of this. Low volatility back into the green moving action. So I still like this one. There's a lot of news, a lot of merger rumors. Yeah, buy the rumors, sell the news, of course. But if there's anything that truly breaks, there's some rumors with Tesla and other things going around. This is critical price to hold that it's at currently. Let me see if I can pull up and show why. Yeah, this $3 range it's very critical, pretty much right where it's at. You had it in its initial shoot up over here about a week ago, I guess in February, where it hit that resistance. It hit that resistance again here on February 12th, and then it broke through that resistance, established a new high, has been filling that gap up, back down. It's hit that same level now, so it's retesting this resistance here, retesting this resistance here, and if it turns it into a support and we start to see this thing going back up, we need to get into it quickly. It's going to, especially with any news, it's going to fly. There's still a lot of potential. I know a couple of you are down on it pretty good, but, you know, make your own decisions, be wise, but take into consideration what we're looking at here. If it can hold this level of support to match this here and this here, that's a really, really good sign of an uptrend coming. If we get below that, yeah, it might be time to look at getting out. Of course, you can look at the chart here. The indicator shows it's trying to come out of this red phase here. That's on the 45-minute chart. Let's look at a couple different charts on it. 2-hour chart doesn't look like it's quite completed. But if this is the bottom of it, in fact, it can turn up pretty quickly. What do the other ones look like? 1 hour chart kind of showing what the 45-minute one did. Of course, it's trying to exit it. My guess is the 4 hour looks a little bit worse than the. Yeah, it looks like it's all done. So if it holds the line here, 305 is $3 is a really good price to keep in mind. Not to mention, let me go over here again to Webull. I'm a little bit more familiar with some of the indicator actions on here. We've got TRCH. Let's back up to the 2 hour chart. We've got our indicator. I don't want to do indicator. I want to do a drawing. Fibonacci retracement from the low up to the peak here. You can see that 305 number that we're talking about for the resistance here, and the support here, that's also a 50% retracement, which is, if you get a big gap up like that and then it only retraces down 50%, that's an extremely strong sign. 61.8 is actually a really popular one to use, so I would consider 264 the floor. But given the fact that we have this resistance here, hopefully turning into support, if we see this thing turn around, we could see a really nice cup forming here, and this thing has a lot of upside and potential. So just wanted to touch base and review some of these things, and hopefully you find this beneficial. Of course, if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm just putting this stuff out there. It's just in my research and the things that I'm finding. This is where I'm focusing right now. I know that you guys are in other areas of the stock market as well, so please feel free to share what you've got. I don't feel like I need to say I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm not a financial advisor, so take what I say with a grain of salt, and hopefully we can make some money together and keep this stuff going the right direction. So have a good week, everyone. You'll be hearing from me. Thanks. See ya.